Hello and welcome to the 34th video of the Project Sovereign series. In this video, I'll complete the modeling of the warp nacelle pylons. I can't wait to cut those vents, so let's get started. Since the last video, I made an improvement in the Shuttle Bay area. I don't know if you can notice it, but it's cut out now. Before it was just going straight down. And I didn't like the look of that. It just wasn't enough detail for this high resolution of a model. I'll hide this so you can see it's just... it's a little funky down here, but it doesn't really matter because these shuttle bay doors really aren't going to open, so I'm not going to get hung up on that. But it's retracted more, so it looks like they're actual doors embedded into here, so I just thought I'd show you that little refinement that I made. So now it's time to work on the nacelle pylons, specifically cutting the vents into them. So what I did was I created this shape, which is just a basic block with segments cut out, so it's going to represent these three vents. And the reason why it's so tall is because they're on the top and on the bottom, and they're in the same place, so I thought I would just boolean out the whole thing at once. So just let me do that really quick. Cut the symmetry. And imprint, of course. There we go. So now what I need to do is I'm going to hinge it from edge, as you see me do before, probably. Convert that into an editable poly. And I want to ignore back-facing. And I'm just going to select all these polygon faces, and then I will hinge from edge. Now that I have all my polygon faces selected, it's time to hinge from edge. And I will choose this edge. And what angle? It's probably good. Maybe 10 degrees. It's difficult to tell because I'm going to have to move all this stuff forward. So I'm just going to have to more or less guess. I guess -12 is going to be good. The tricky part of this is going to be making sure that there's plenty of room for the top and the bottom to be cut out because the wing is only so thick. So I'll find that out soon enough. So as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it here. Actually, let me hold it here. So I can always just return to this point if I don't like the results. I'm going to check that. So I'm going to clean up the front edge. I'll show you a little bit of that right now, but I'll do the rest off camera just because you've seen me do it before, and it's not terribly interesting. But just to make sure that this is a true edge and not some funky stuff going on here. I want it to blend nice and smooth down into here. Now, one of the challenges of this is going to be moving this forward because in the reference, you see they're pitching forward, right? It's not just a straight down thing. They're actually moving forward. So I need to copy that on my model. But the problem is there's all this geometry in the way. And I want to be able to move it without colliding into all this geometry. So that's not that big of a deal. All I need to do is select all of these edges that I want to get rid of. So just like this. And of course I'll deselect the rest, but I want to get rid of these edges, these three. I want to get rid of this. And I want to get rid of all of these sort of stray edges here. This is also going to work to clean up the model. Okay, and of course, let me hide everything. Isolate this just so I can see what I'm doing. I want to make sure all of these are deselected. I don't want to get rid of all of these excess ones here. So control backspace. And there we go. I'll get rid of Now just grab this, go to vertex mode, make sure my edge constraints are selected, and just drag it forward. There we go. Looks like I forgot. There, I could just grab that. That's actually looking really good. So let me move this and this. And there we go. Now the last thing I'm going to do put my smoothing modifier. And I want to turn auto smooth off. There we go. So that's looking pretty good. So I'm just going to repeat this operation for the other 5 divots, and we should have a nice completed engine pylon. Okay, so that's these vents cut out. Everything went according to plan, and I'm happy to say nothing really that bad happened in terms of colliding or anything like that, but we've got one more step to do, and that is to apply our gray material. And there we have it. So let me unhide all, and I'll paste my symmetry modifier. And here we go. So these vents are done. What do you think these are? Do you think they're intake? I mean, that would make sense on a jet, right? Intake engines. Maybe they're exhaust. Who knows? They just look cool. So you'd think we're done with the pylons, but we aren't quite done yet because we need to put in these little vents back here. So that shouldn't be too difficult. What I'm going to do is I've selected these. So I'm just going to squish these together a little bit because there's not that much space between the vents. So just make sure my edge constraints are on. And just go like this. There we go. And I can, of course, smooth that out just a little bit. So all that's left to do now is just to select these polygon faces, which is going to take some time, and then I will just simply extrude them and apply my material, and then that'll be it for the nacelle pylons. Okay, so with these selected, now it's just a matter of simply extruding. We'll go about -0.2. That looks good. What does local normal look like? Yeah, that should be a bit better. And just check. Apply my gray material. And there we go. Excellent. Okay, so that looks like 2 complete nacelle pylons to me. Really happy with the way that this turned out. This went surprisingly not terrible. I know I say that a lot, but I get worked up over some parts of the ship and they turn out to be not bad. So the main body of the ship is done, at least in terms of modeling terms. So now all that's left to do is the warp nacelles. So that'll be the next few videos for modeling. And then it'll be time to texture this beast. So nearing the finish line, getting closer. I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you've been enjoying these videos, and I will see you soon.